Listen, guys, for those of you out there, that want to tell your story with the hopes of inspiring others, but you're an introvert, and please understand, you don't have to be seen to be heard. Now, I know nowadays that's the way society has it set up to where, you don't get much traction if you're not in front of the camera or whatever, but it's all about your message. If you look at my numbers, you can see that I don't bring in a lot of traction. However, I stand true to the notion of if I can inspire even one person, then I am so happy with that, because that's one less person in my eyes that have to go through the things that I've been through. And a lot of introverts would love to share their story, but they're flat out not interested in being on camera. But again, my fellow introverts, because I am an introvert as well, you do not have to be seen to be heard. I get it. Everyone else is on camera or whatever. So you feel gaslit, you feel like you have to do what everybody else is doing, or even go all out to outdo the next person. But my thing is this: if your true intent is to inspire, it shouldn't matter if you're in front of the camera or not. There's tons and tons of YouTube channels where the content creators, they just don't get on camera at all. Shoot, me myself, I rarely get on camera, except when I feel called to do so. And it's not about fear. I totally understand when you're judged and labeled as being fearful of being on camera or things like that, when you know doggone well fear is nowhere close to being a factor. But judgment is irrelevant, okay? And your stories, they need to be heard. They need to be heard, and others need to be inspired by those stories because it helps them to heal. And with your experiences, you tend to hold yourself back because of, uncomfortability or just not being interested in being on camera at all. Guess what? That is okay, but then you decide to not make your channel at all. Guys, make your channel anyway. Make your channel anyway, because your voice matters and your voice needs to be heard. Now, me personally, I put out content when I'm divinely guided to do so, I don't try to keep up with anybody else's channel, and I never let anybody gaslight me to compete with anybody else. I'm just not here for all of that. I get on camera sometimes, number one, because I just want to connect with the audience to show them that I'm actually a real person and I'm not like some AI voice without a face. So every once in a while, every so often, I pop out just to connect, Number two, it's like I know you hear me saying that I'm divinely guided to do things, which means I look to the Most High for guidance when it comes to my content. I look to the Most High to know when I should pop out on camera and all of that. Now, I know not everybody does it like that. Most content creators, they're more structured and they have quotas and things like that they're trying to work towards, but I don't put out content with numbers in mind. I try to feel the energy of the collective, try to feel what needs to be said and which one of my experience that I need to share that could help someone. Now, I'll be honest, that may not bring in all the views and likes, but it doesn't keep me from doing things this way because, in my opinion, it keeps my platform authentic. You'll never, ever, ever find me putting out content unless I feel it in my heart that it's content that needs to be put out, because these are my real life experiences, and it takes a lot for me to relive these experiences to be able to put them out there. But I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to help someone else. Being on camera is the last thing on my mind when I'm thinking about putting out content, because again, it's not for show, it's for inspiration. Now, this is part of the reason why I don't do social media anymore. I used to have Facebook, Instagram, and all that, but it's just so watered down now with all these false impressions of people that I'm just not interested in it. I'll listen to faceless podcasts with great authentic content any day over a channel with somebody on camera who presents themselves one way, but when the cameras are off, their life is a totally different way. Now, I'm not saying everybody who gets on camera is just putting on for the camera, because that's just not true, But I can feel the energy of content creators that's being authentic. You can just feel the transparency, or at least I feel it. You know, for example, let me give an example. I watched a video last night by a content creator. First of all, his birthday's today, you know, so happy birthday to you. And I really identify with some of his life experiences, and I am so happy to see that he's still standing. He's still standing strong. He's still doing well. Today is his 44th birthday. He will not resonate with everyone, of course. Let me just put that out there. But this little sweetheart is one of those authentic people, and I really resonate with his channel. I really resonate with his authenticity, you know. Now, he shed tears on one of his recent videos, which of course, the softie that I am, it made me shed tears right along with him, because I absolutely respect a man who can show like his true emotions to the world, you know, on some old, it is what it is, it's who I am kind of thing. I respect that. Now, yes, he's on camera, but what you see is what you get. You know, he'll be on camera arguing with his cat. I love that part. You know, he'll just randomly bust out laughing, which of course it makes me laugh. So sometimes if I feel like laughing, I'll watch his videos, because I know somewhere in that video he'll just randomly just bust out and start laughing. So it makes me randomly and bust out laughing. You know, sometimes he sings, sometimes he'll cuss you out, and he's just as cute as a button. He's cute as a button, you know, but he's authentic. You know, he is his authentic self, and I absolutely love that. So like, shout out to him, because he authentically shares his life experiences, and he's trying to help the collective to understand that they are not alone. You know, they are not alone. And to me, he's truly inspiring. You know, I get inspired by people of different walks in life. You know, I truly get inspired by those who tell their authentic story and they show their authentic emotions. I just love that. You know, even when he's cussing people out, you know, cussing people out and all, because that's his true authentic self. And just even shout out to his cats. You know, his cats will sit right in front of the camera while he's live. Even his cats are authentic, you know, so I just respect that. And I could flip the script, you know. On the flip side, I enjoy Channel, and it's a female, and she doesn't show herself on camera at all, other than just like her hands, her arms. And this woman may not be on camera, but she's being her authentic self. And it's like when her hands start pointing and waving around, you know she's speaking from the heart. And I don't know, these folks, they love the Most High, and I absolutely love that about them. They show love to the Most High, and you just have to respect that. Now with her, you may not see her face, and that's actually my point. You don't necessarily have to be seen to be heard. You know, maybe she'll post a picture or whatever, you know, to show that she's actually a real person, but for the most part, you can just feel her message. And I don't know, I just really appreciate stuff like that. Now, there are several other faceless channels that I enjoy, and these channels are just examples. You know, I could name off 50 more channels, but these channels are just the examples that just came to my head right away. But my point is, tell your stories, guys. Tell your stories, on or off camera. It doesn't even matter. Your message is what's important, because sometimes I know you're judged by what people see and what they assume about you. For instance, okay, let me give an example for that. Anyone could easily assume for me that I'm sad or struggling because I'm not quick to jump in front of the camera. But it's actually not like that at all. I just don't feel the need to have to prove to anyone, you know, that I'm in a good place in my life. You know, that's personal. And in my opinion, you shouldn't have to prove your happiness to anyone. You know, assumptions will always be made about you. Don't focus on things like that, because that's neither here nor there. You know, I walk around sometimes, if you see me out in public, I walk around sometimes looking totally unapproachable. And I've said it before, if you saw me out and about You know, you could easily assume that I'm real angry or whatever, but it's actually the total opposite. You know, I could stay in the house for a long stretch of time, especially like in Costa Rica where it's rainy season and it rains like every day. But staying inside doesn't mean that I'm sad or miserable. It doesn't. You know, it just means that I'm inside. It's literally that simple, because I'm always doing something or working on something, or sometimes I'm just in the mood to just kick back and allow myself for a whole day to just do nothing, just relax. And that doesn't equate to misery because I choose to be inside and just enjoy my own company. Introverts look kind of strange to those who don't understand them. That's my experience. That's my opinion. You know, it's an outsider's perspective. People may wonder, how in the world do introverts comfortably spend so much time by ourselves? But you guys know what I'm saying is true, because we literally do not have a problem spending time with ourselves. That's why being on camera or off camera, that shouldn't matter, guys. You know, start your faceless channels. You know, share your experiences, and never be gaslight to do anything that you're uncomfortable doing. It'll just come naturally. One day you'll just turn on the camera and just start talking. But if you don't, that's okay too. You know, your message will hold the same amount of weight whether you're on or off camera. That's what I believe. Now again, that's no slight to anyone who gets in front of the camera, because I'm sure that that's what they choose to do. And in the same breath, not being on camera sometimes or even all the times, that's a choice. You know, let that choice be yours, because it's your life. The only thing that's really important is sharing your stories, sharing your experiences, sharing how you got into those situations, and most of all, leaving that part, just share a snippet of that, but focusing more so of how you got out of those situations, so maybe you can help someone else, you know? See, we're not crazy if we live our lives according to what makes us happy, and we don't allow ourselves to be gaslit into anything outside of that. We are not crazy if we feel that we don't need to be seen to be heard. You know, sometimes being seen may actually be a necessity, and when it is, we have no problem rising to the occasion. But it's all about the message at the end of the day. You know, we certainly are not crazy if we're okay with kicking it by ourselves. You know, we genuinely love our own company, and we don't seek approval outside of ourselves. I spend a gang of solo dolo time, and I'm good with that. And a lot of times I could be indoors, just living my own life, doing my own thing, just minding my business, staying in my own lane. I don't feel the need to prove to the world that I'm happy. You know, I don't worry about talking the talk, because I'm just, I guess you could say I'm just too busy walking the walk. You know, I don't have to be seen to do that. None of these things that we do makes us crazy. It makes us authentic. That's my opinion. And it makes us true to who we are without a smokescreen, because that's how I live my life, and that's how a lot of introverts live their lives. So please, guys, start your channel, tell your stories, and help someone else out there. And that doesn't make us crazy if we choose to do it on camera or off camera, because I'm not crazy, and neither are you.